How's it going, my friends? Are you well? I hope you're well. It's Scott here from Cookie Cottage. Just going to do a really quick update from the Polytunnel. Well, guys, what can I say? Things have gone really, really well this year. It's just been an absolute joy. And I'll try and take you through quickly and give you a quick update on the developments since the last video. So as you can see, the coriander is in full flower now. And it really is an absolute favourite with the pollinators. They're just everywhere, and all different types, just everywhere. So absolutely thrilled for the coriander, or cilantro as a lot of you guys will know it. Our grapes are coming along really well. Super excited about the grapes. Never in my wildest dreams thought that would be happening this year. I'll just speak briefly about the rain barrels. So as you know, over the last while we had a drought. I think it was over 3 weeks without water, and so all the rain barrels outside or around the property had dried up. And as reluctant as I was to use tap water, I had no choice. So I had been filling the rain barrels with tap water using a hose from the faucet or the tap outside, and then leaving that water to sit for 24 hours to let all the chlorine evaporate off. And then I was inoculating those rain barrels filled with tap water with super soil microbe powder. And yeah, it went really, really well. Maybe too well. Am I allowed to complain about too much growth? But yeah, absolutely have been loving the super soil and the tap water for more than one reason as well. It meant I didn't have to bucket 20 litres of rainwater from the barrels up to these every... No, don't get me wrong, I love that. So yeah, that's what's happening with the rain barrels at the minute. They are actually filled with rainwater because we've had so much rain now. And yeah, I haven't used super soil now in about 7 days or so. And just while we're here, we'll have a quick look at these sunflowers. They're in flower now. Aren't they gorgeous? I really like them. Here's a better one if we go in now. I'll be honest with you guys, the pathways have pretty much disappeared now. In order to get through the pathways, I've had to kind of like machete through like you would in the jungle and like just take away huge amounts of biomass, mostly the burdock, which I've been using for compost. But you can see there's some nasturtium and cosmos and strawberry still around the base of the sunflowers, and then that red clover is still going crazy in flower, and it's about 4.5-5 feet tall. The sunflowers are doing really well, but here's one here that I can get a better view. I'll zoom in, you can see. Isn't that gorgeous? And the pollinators are loving the sunflowers as well. You can see there's probably about 6 or 7, can you see? 6 or 7 like flying insects, pollinators on top. So loving that, but I don't think we're going to be able to get through this path, guys, being honest with you. I think we would genuinely need a machete. But you can see from here that the nasturtium has made its way up the lupin flower spikes that are now forming seed pods, which by the way we're harvesting. We're getting a fantastic harvest of the lupin seed pods. The burdock here has kind of collapsed or bent over. It hasn't broken off at the base. It's just kind of folded in on itself and completely engulfed that pathway. But yeah, I'm just letting it go for the meantime, but I'll show you across the way here where I've got a better a way of getting up the path. Now I'll just show you this wee plant briefly. This was actually gifted to me by a delivery driver out of the blue. I didn't even know the person, and they just knew that I was doing a bit of growing, and they were also into some growing. They were doing like kind of tropical plants here in Ireland, and palm trees and different things like this. I can't even remember all the names. It was just wonderful to hear. But this is a dwarf Cavendish banana tree, and you can see there it's doing pretty well. I'm really pleased with that. Luna's doing fantastic. There you can see some of the lupin seed pods. Our wood is drying out really well because of the conditions in the polytunnel. I really recommend that, and it's been absolutely ideal for the way that I'm living here, just perfect. And shout out to Porrig as well. Where would I be without Porrig, guys? There, let's take a look at these grapes briefly. They're looking like pretty developed, aren't they? I'm really like blown away by this. And once again, this is another gift. There's a lovely spider. I wonder, can I get it in focus? one of you guys donated me this plant, and yeah, 2 years ago it was one of the first, in fact it was one of the very first plants to go into the polytunnel, and it's doing really, really well. The idea was to train it up along the polytunnel structure, but it has kind of taken on a life of its own, and it's just rambling over the wood pile, so that's really, really cool. The sweet pea continues to fill the polytunnel with its scent. Absolutely divine. Absolutely love that, and what a great volunteer to pop in. Here you can see that this bed that was mostly clovers and different soil building plants, I've continued to drop biomass on top of that. I have been doing for about a week now. Wow, did you see that bee with the big pollen sacs? We'll try and find them in a minute. But yeah, so I've just been kind of turning it into kind of, I suppose you would say, a kind of a bit of a compost heap. And you can see I've just top dressed there with some seaweed powder, powdered seaweed. And I'll also go in there, in fact I have already, I can see it, with volcanic rock dust. And then I'll probably add some more browns, maybe some sawdust, maybe some really fine wood chip or broken down wood chip that's maybe about a year old. Or maybe some that's really broken down from the pathways that has been broken down by the wine cap. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, we're just pretty much building soil there, and then we'll plant into that for next year. The nasturtium and the strawberries are doing really well in here. We have a couple of random borage. Let's go along and take a look at this plant. This is our carrot. Now these are our bericlum carrot seeds from last year. This is a carrot that we left in the ground, and it's gone to flower this year. And as you can see, the pollinators absolutely love it. Now there's no intention of saving seed from this. We already have a huge amount of bericlum seed saved from last year, and this really wouldn't be enough to get a good quality seed really anyway. But it is absolutely fabulous for the pollinators. Just like the coriander, they just love it. We've got some calendula popping up there. Our purple sprout and broccoli seeds are nearly ready for harvest. In fact, I've harvested some. Let's take a look. You can see the seed pods are forming there, and they're starting to dry out. I would say it's probably only about a week or two before those seeds are ready, which is super exciting, and we have more of these to collect from all around the property. This is some of our spinach, which has gone over, some oca, and then you can see there's some more sunflowers there. We're still collecting the Isakura for seed. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Head first. Now, I don't know if he's sleeping or snoozing or what he's up to, but look at the size of the pollen sacs on that boy. Yeah, it's just a haven for the pollinators in here, guys. I have to say, it has been the greatest joy. Just absolutely fabulous. And just while we're on the subject of the Isakura spring onion, which is our seed run, let's just go back and take a look, because we have been harvesting them and they're doing really well. There they are in a brown box, and you can see the seeds are just spilling out from these little tops that are filled with seeds. Can you see that? It's just perfect. Really, really pleased, and we're really pleased with how that seed run has gone. It really has worked out very, very well. Here we have some Grenoble red lettuce that is going to seed on purpose. Last year we did collect seed from our gourmet lettuces, but they all got mixed up together, so it wasn't really ideal. And you can see there's some type of cucurbit growing here. I am actually no idea what that is. It was just a volunteer, and I thought I'll let that go and see what the crack is, and sure we'll check in on that again soon. And here we have some onions. I believe those are Stuttgart from our sets, our own sets from last year. Working out okay. I mean, they have been interplanted with a lot of other plants and they're not huge, but so far so good. What else can I tell you? Here's some more Fiesta Gitana calendula, which I just love. It's just that vibrant pop of colour and those different types of flowers. Aren't they pretty? And you can see there's some borage has just kind of collapsed in on it from this borage plant here. One of the arms has just dropped down in, but it all kind of knits together. We've also got a wee carrot regrow coming back. And you can spot there's a tomato. Now, those are weeds, to be honest, guys. And I would guess that they are the variety Prima Bella, which was the cherry tomato that we grew in here last year. If you remember last year, we had 47 tomato plants growing in here. Now, you won't be surprised to see that. Borage on the bees. Sorry, bee on the borage. But you can see that the burdock, guys, is just absolutely monstrous. And I've actually cut away quite a lot of the quite a lot of the arms to make way in this pathway, so you can see that I can actually get through. I just cut them off at the side there. Now, if we go in here to where the purple sprouting broccoli was, that monster one, it didn't come back, but I've started to do like a little mini compost area just on top of it. I say compost area, it's really just dropping organic material that has come from the polytunnel. And you can see there's a huge amount of lupin seeds to be collected here. And over in this section, we have some potatoes in flower, which are Sarp O'Meara. And I suppose the biggest shock for me really with this is that, not that they came up as a volunteer because they were grown there last year, but the fact that they have survived the temperatures in the polytunnel really, really well. And as you can see, they're actually doing that positive tropism or praying to the light. And yeah, really, really worked out well. And you can see those beautiful flowers. And obviously it's completely covered with the nasturtium, which is about 3 feet high now, and has completely woven its way through that entire section. So there's a lot less light getting down to the bottom than I would like. And you can see the chamomile has been completely shaded out nearly. So that's something that's just happened. I've just had to go with that. We can see some cleaver climbing up amongst the lupins, and there's some vetch in there as well. You can just see it tangling its way around the potatoes. So we're just letting that be. There's no way I could get through there, guys, without a serious harvest. I tried at one point whenever I was going to get out the garlic, which were fabulous, but I would say there's probably still some in there that I haven't been able to find. And you can see there's butterflies and daddy longlegs, everything flying around in here. And once again, our pathway's just completely blocked. But here, there is some of the burdocks, the wee buds, just getting going. Let's see if we go up this path now, we can have a look. You can see there where I've just knocked back the burdock. Now there's one of the tallest sunflowers. I wonder if I can go up here and get a view. I'm just going to cross over into this pathway. I'm going to stand on the clover, which is it's on top of the wood chip path. And if we can go up here, I'm going to just tilt you around, guys, so you can see that sunflower. It's about 8.5, 9 feet tall. And it just has opened up in the last kind of 24, 48 hours. But isn't that pretty? And that's probably the tallest sunflower in the polytunnel right now. And in this corner, okay, there is some red Russian kale there, and I've just noticed that it's just about to go to seed. I'm not sure if what we'll do there, but we'll definitely harvest some of those leaves for a smoothie. But you can see if we go into this corner, we've got some Fiesta. Hang on, I'll get a better view. And we'll go right in there, excuse me. There's some more Fiesta Gitana calendula just at the end of that bed. Some white clover, some more of the Isakura, cleaver, vetch and strawberries. But if we go into this little section here, you can see that we've got some carrots popping up there. That was just in a wee gap that existed at one point. But it didn't exist for long, so I've actually had to remove some of the nasturtium that was here. But in the corner, do you remember a little olive tree that was a gift from one of you guys 2 years ago? Check that out, guys. Little flowers on the olive tree and really healthy new green lush growth on the leaves. So I'm super chuffed about that, and that's really happened ever since we put it into the ground. So really thrilled, excuse me, about the olive tree. And yeah, it's just a nice little colourful section. Just at the back here, pollinators are loving it as usual. And yeah, I think that's it. Although we could go and take a quick look at the banana tree. There's quite a lot of vetch and tomato there. Let's just have a look. Look at the size of that burdock, guys. Huge, overshadowing the banana tree, which is an ornamental banana, but it's doing really well. Now, the negative 9.8 temperature that was recorded in the polytunnel through winter definitely, excuse me, knocked back this banana tree, but it has come back really, really strong, and I think it's really appreciated the kind of dense planting and the kind of the increased humidity caused by all these different plants growing around it. You can see vetch, lupin, in fact 2 different types of vetch, and the burdock. Just kind of keeping it in there and keeping it moist. Does that make sense? I think it's really appreciated that. So there's a view now where we've cut away some of the pathway, and you can see what it kind of would have looked like before. So it is a bit crazy in here, and it is a bit like a jungle, and it definitely has exceeded my wildest expectation, guys. I don't know about you, but it has been, like, would you agree with me? It's kind of been crazy. But I suppose now everything's going to kind of go over as we push towards seed production. Remember, we've harvested potatoes, we've harvested our garlic. We've harvested quite a lot of our seed so far, but there's so much more to harvest in terms of seed. So you'll see the colours kind of go off now and plants collapse, and it won't be as pretty from here on in, but it will still be fabulous, if that makes sense, because the pollinators are going to absolutely continue to love it, and it's going to look kind of cool. Okay guys, I think I've gone way over there. I said a quick update and it's nearly 15 minutes, but I think we have nearly covered absolutely everything in the polytunnel, to be honest. So it's a really deep update. And look, so you know that the usual, if you have any questions, just stick them in the comment section and I'll always reply. And as usual, from Luna and myself, we're sending lots of love, aren't we, sweetheart?